Well, first of all, I appreciate for this kind invitations, and this is the second time for me to visit here. Today, I hope you understand why I'm developing a robot and what kind of a robot I want to develop after this. So actually, that today I have this right a little bit creepy robot. Actually that this is a robot. So I'm trying to convince you why you're gonna have that this robot near features, right? So I'm gonna keep one of this one, and so another one, so you can pass to the next, right? Okay, so the title of my talk is the human, androids, and the medias. So actually I have the coordinator they introduced, I have two positions. One is Osaka University, and the other is ATR. The ATR is a research institute in Nara. And in today's talk, I'm going to introduce the many robots from both the organizations. So what is humans, right? Why we are living in this world, and how can we survive in this world? And this is my motivation to study the robot. This is the most important question for me. Probably that we are sharing these questions, right? We are not surviving in this world just for eating or sleeping, right? Why we are working, right? Why you have a job, right? So always we are looking for the human itself, or we are looking for ourselves, right? I want to understand more about me, about the human. Therefore, I have developed these robots. I started my robot project from 1991, actually, and around the 2000, I have developed these, the mechanical-looking, very like robots. And however, I have found many fundamental questions like for example, what kind of a design is the best for the robots? So what I want to develop is, interactive robots that works in your daily life, not, the robots for the industrial applications, right? But if we want to have the interactive robot, human-friendly robot, what kind of appearance is better, is good for these robots? Therefore, I have studied about the Android, and also I have developed many sensors for robots. For example, the skin sensors. So middle robot has a very soft, human-like skin sensors. So always I'm saying, I was thinking what is the ideal robot for people, for interacting with people, right? But of course we have to consider the appearance and the perception, the behaviors, and some sort of a human-like developmental process. Actually the robot want to have a very complicated the hardwares. Then that we need to think about how efficiently they develop the software, right? So anyway, so the question for these robots, is same as the questions for the humans, right? For example, the appearance. How important the appearance, the human-like appearance. What's the meaning of a human-like appearance? What's the meaning of a human-like behaviors? What kind of function we have as a perceptual abilities, right? So we are asking the same question, for both human and robot. So I will say that my studies of a robot is actually to understand the human itself, right? So let me give you a couple of the ideas about my work. So first question was how much the human likeness does a robot need to have? Right? So in order to answer to this question, I have developed the very human-like robots. This is the Android. As you can see here, the Android has a very complicated mechanism, and in addition to that, the Android could have very human-like facial expression also. But however, this Android couldn't talk, right? Limitation was the conversation abilities. So the second question is, can we develop the android that talks like humans? Okay. Actually, this is quite difficult issues, right? Therefore, that I have developed my copy, right? This is a teleoperated android. Well, actually, the operator is talking through the internet. The operator is watching two monitors. The one is for the visitors, one is for the android, and the computers in the front of operators, they're analyzing the operators, the head movement, or tracking the head movement, and analyzing a voice for generating the lip movement of the android. So, and if the operator moves the head, android, the head also moves. And if operator speaks something, and the voice coming from the android, and at the same time in android, the lips moves. Okay. So, the interesting things in this system is the both operator and the visitor, they can adapt to this system, right? About the adaptation of visitors, right? In the beginning of conversations, well, the visitor has some curiosity. What is this, right? So this looks like a human, but this is not human, right? Therefore, the visitor look at the many places, the parts of Android. But once we start the conversations, the visitor naturally look at the Android, the artificial eyes. It's a fake, right? But still, the visitor will naturally look at eyes and the natural talk. So, and in this case, usually, the visitor, has a very similar feeling to talk with me, because this is my Android, right? And that is the visitor's adaptation. But the another adaptation is for the operators. Operator also, can naturally accept this Android body as his own body, right? So let me give you an example. So unfortunately, this Android cannot work. Therefore, if someone push a cheek, this is annoying, annoying very much, and I don't like this. Right? But the very interesting thing is actually the operator can feel a very strong sensation on the cheek. So there is no sensory feedback, no actuators. Right? The operator is just watching monitors and talking, but still, operator they can have a very strong feeling to be touched. Right? This is a possibility of Android. So this means that we can transmit our presence to the distant place by using this Android. Why we have this kind of phenomena? Because we don't know ourselves. Right? So you don't know your face and the voice and gestures. You know that, right? Every morning you are watching the mirrors, but mirror is not your face, right? Human face is not symmetrical. Therefore, if you compare the mirrors and the photograph, right, then this face is completely different, right? So every morning you are watching a long face, right? And the voice is the same thing for the voice, right? So if you record your voice, right, it sounds like the other person's voice, right? You don't know your voice. And your behaviors, right? So now you're hearing my talk, but you don't know where is your, the fingers, and right, and what kind of facial expression you have. You don't know that, right? So the people, human does, we don't know about ourselves. Therefore, the ones we see someone on the robot, that's synchronized with our movement, so we can accept that robot as our, their own body. So anyway, so by using this Android, we can do the funny things or the interesting things. Now, as I said, that I have the appointment in Osaka and Nara, right? Well, Osaka and Nara, it's 2 hours, and the Android is in Nara, and when I was very busy, when I'm very busy, that I'm using this Android for the meeting, right? So, this we don't have any problem, right? And the students and my staff, can feel my authority also, right? But the problem is, the ATR, the research institute, they say, ATR cannot pay for me if I use this Android, right? But But why? My appearance is there, behaviors, talk, everything is there. Of course, my brains and maybe when the organs like a stomach is not there, but nobody checks so far, right? So how do you think? Who am I today, right? I may be an android. You also, so you are just sitting, right? You are just sitting, so that it's easy to develop that kind. You're just a sitting android, right? You may be an android, right? So, the human society, well, we just trust each other. We just believe you are human, and you believe I'm human, right? Then, we exchange the monies, right? And our basics of a human society is very, very ambiguous, right? It's easy to cheat, right? But it's quite important to touch this kind of philosophical questions by building robots. That is how can I say, the power of robotics, I believe. Well, anyway, so if we want, we can have a conference like this. And when we at the conference, the most impressive scene was the conversation with a blind person. Someone say, this is a teleoperated android. This was in Australia, and I was in Japan. I was talking through the internet, but someone said it's a kind of a TV conference, but completely different from a TV conference, right? And the TV conference, doesn't work for the blind persons. It's just like a telephone, right? But with this robot, we can share the tactile sensations. Blind person can feel my shape, and I also I can have some feeling to be touched, right? And if we use the Android in a cafe, right? We can make a friend, right? So actually, we put the Android in a corner of a cafe the 3 weeks, and just observe the people's reactions. Half of the people they couldn't become aware of this, but another half of the people they have found something wrong, and they just come to talk. But once we start to talk, once we got the conversations, the people they could naturally accept this robot, right? Actually, I could have many friends there. And here, the another picture is the conversation with my staff, right? She was alone in this experiment, right? Therefore, she always complained, I don't like to have a dinner alone. And then I have proposed, let's have a dinner together. They operate the Android. And she said, oh, this is good. I'm not alone anymore. So. So now we have, the 3 people has the Android, and in the near future, I guess, you're going to have your own Android. Why? For example, if I get old, right? I'm teaching in a university, right? If I get old and if I need to stay in a hospital, definitely I'm going to use Android for teaching a class, okay? So that, I strongly recommend to buy Android. Android is about $100,000 US. It's just like an expensive car. Which is better? Well, the car or Android. Android is quite safe. Easy to transmit our presence to the distant place, but the car is very dangerous, right? Please choose the Android, right? And recently we are playing the Android theater with this, with a much more beautiful Android. And last year, we have played this Android theaters in a cathedral in Australia. This was a challenge for me, but we got a big success, right? And the people moved very much, and people say that Android was like a Mario. But that was a problem for me, So what I want to develop is a robot that has a human likeness. I want to I wanted to make a copy of humans, not Maria, not God, right? So this robot was so beautiful. Therefore, this was much better than maybe a human, right? What I want to say here is the Android can, the beyond, presence, the beyond the humans, right? well, here in Android is representing the human-like death, but the human cannot represent like this. The Android is much better. So the perfect Android or human is not so human-like. See? So well, what is more human-like? So my answer is this. So humans interact with others by using the imaginations, right? So we recognize other persons by by watching their facial expressions, by hearing a voice, by the snare, right? It's so complicated, right? Roughly speaking, so we have some imagination of other persons. So what we have to do now is the minimal design that maximizes the imaginations, our imaginations. So, and therefore, I have designed the minimal human. Okay, so definitely this one looks like a human, but we cannot tell the age and the genders. We have that kind of a design policy there. And that we used for this design for the Geminoids or the conversations with the robot. And actually, this is the conversation between the elderly and the child, right? And once we hear the voice from this one, right? So usually we have an imagination about the speakers, right? And then we can mentally project that imagination onto this neutral appearance. And actually, this one works very well, right? And especially the elderly likes very much. And even if they hesitate to talk to the humans, but they never hesitate to talk to this robot. Right? No exceptions. Now we are running the field test in Denmark. Denmark is a very famous country for the welfare system, right? So, probably I would say like this. The media it was for everybody, but media is going to choose the users, and the media will be more human-like, life-like, and the media works as a kind of a humans in your life, right? So like this one, okay? We're going to accept that this kind of a very human-like the Android. So anyways, we got a big success in application for the elderly people. Then I have decided to start a new project with this one. So this one going to be the mobile phones, right? iPhone. Now you are using iPhone. iPhone is just a small computers, right? But the iPhone does not have the advanced function for the communications. I mean, iPhone is just the talking function of iPhone is same as the previous mobile phone, right? What is the real innovation? The real innovation is transmit our presence to the distant place. Actually, we can do that with this shape, with this, the shape of the mobile phone. When we hear the voice from here, we can have some the feeling of the presence of that speakers, right? So another the important one more thing is so now that we are using a Siri for the iPhone, so it's voice recognition functions, right? So my question is, you want to talk to the black box? No, it's very strange, right? So when we talk, probably, human-like mobile phone is much better, right? Much easier to talk, right? That is human innate abilities. So just give me, actually, I have already developed the cell phones, and just give me 1 year. We're gonna see this kind of the scenes, in many places, right? And please buy this, the mobile phone. So. Last 3 slides, and transhumanity. Someday the boundary between the human and the machine disappears, and But however, still we have questions. Can we separate the body and the mind as humans? But what is the definition of humans? So always, we are looking for the definition of humans, and always we are looking for what is, thinking what is the heart and the mind. So of course, we don't have the answer yet, but this is my current answers. So we believe each other that we have heart and mind. Therefore, I can believe that I have heart and mind. So. Anyway, so I want to prove this hypothesis by building robots more. Thank you very much.